This video is an easy one. It's going to really hit home with yourself as to how easy you can hit golf balls. Did you know you can hit golf balls 90% of the distance? A drill that hits the ball 90% of your normal distance. Let's move on. Rotational action and lateral action. Both actions have a huge part to play in the golf swing. In my opinion though, rotational is much more important. But as I say, they both have a part to play. So let's dive into that. Let's look at rotation, let's look at lateral. Lateral being side to side, rotation obviously. Rotational. Whew, let's get on with the video. Before we start, if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're a current subscriber, welcome. I'd like to check out my website, eurekagolfswing.com. That is my own swing method. That improves strike, it gives you pure ball strike, gives you flat left wrist, compression, sustains the line of compression, shallows the shaft on the way down and allows the body to open up. Now if you've got problems with the body opening up, this is for you. If you've got problems slicing, this is for you. It's all about flat left wrist, compression, body rotation, which we're going to talk about today. Senior golfers have really benefited from this. The feedback I've been receiving has been outstanding. eurekagolfswing.com, go there. Also subscribe to this channel. Okay, so rotation. Rotation creates speed. It creates three consistent arcs, one from the body, one from the arms, one from the club. Speed, we all want speed, we all want consistency. Rotation, so rotation. Speed, we all want speed, don't we? We all want consistency, so consistent body turn. If I rotate, my centre of rotation is my body, the faster I can get my centre to rotate, the arms are going to then swing faster, and therefore the club head's going to swing faster, so we get lots of speed through a rotational action. Lateral though, lateral also has its benefits. So a lateral motion through the golf shot would be side to side, laterally moving. Oof, too much of that is inconsistent. Rotation, we can time, we can get. Lateral movement is going to control low point or lose control of low point, but it does have some benefits. Lateral motion within the golf swing creates lag. It also shallows the arms and the club shaft. So if I move off the golf ball, if I move back towards golf ball, I'm going to create a shallowing of the shaft and the arms. There. Okay, that's a good thing. I'm also going to create lag. So up here, if I move away from the position, if I move off the golf ball, then I move back to the golf ball, the lag, which is the angle between club shaft and left arm there, is going to be increased. So lateral motion increases that. Lag is actually stress on the shaft. It's a confusing one, but of course the angle between club shaft and left arm, as that decreases, I guess. That angle decreases, yes, as that decreases, because the body is moving away, that will in turn stress the shaft. Is that decreased? That has decreased, because it's a narrower angle, so it's the angle here, that's, yeah. So lag, yes, and shallowing of the club, all good things, but too much lateral motion off the golf ball makes low point very tricky. Very hard to get back to a good low point. If it's a purely rotational action and I just turn, then my low point's going to be much more consistent. But there has to be a balance between the two. The balance between the two is the axis shift at the top of the backswing during transition or at transition. You get to the top of your swing and then you move laterally left before the rotation kicks in. But the rotational part is more important. If you were purely just to turn, that would be ideal. Ben Hogan, his left hip position was the same at the top of his backswing as it was at address. His address position, left hip here, left hip same at the top. Now I'm not saying he's not moved his weight, but his left hip did not start here and move away from that lateral and then have to move back. He started there, then from there on the way down you can have a slight lateral bump before the rotation kicks in. Hogan had it. Everyone knows I'm a huge Hogan fan, but that's what happened. His left hip did not start and move away from the start line and move back to it. It stayed in the start line. So his starting position, address position, hip, left hip, top of backswing, left hip, covering the same area in space, if you like. And then from there, he was able to bump towards target and then rotate. Now, what happens if you've got too much lateral motion? We know it controls low point or has a detrimental effect on low point if there's too much lateral motion off the golf ball, back onto the golf ball and past the golf ball. So how do we fix that and how do we increase the rotational aspect? I would love to see golfers more rotational, more speed, baseball, more rotational and less lateral. Do this drill. So effective. Feet together and just hit shots. There'll be rotation. There will be, the pivot points do move slightly, which is another video. I will finish with all my weight on my left side. My left hip cannot move unless I mean if I do this I've got a problem. I'm not going to do that. My left hip starts here, it will stay there. As I play the shot you can see my weight does move onto my left side and it increases the rotational value in your golf swing, which of course as we know creates speed. It then puts in uniform the body turn, the arm turn and the club head turn, which is the three arcs that create the consistency. Feet together, turn, turn. There's no lateral movement, it's just a turn, turn. When you do this correctly and you get the feel for this turn, turn, an amazing thing that happens is you should be able to hit the golf ball 90% of the distance you normally hit it with feet together. So you can see how that creates the speed and distance without the lateral movement. Once we put the lateral hip bump in there, then of course we're going to gain more compression, lag, shaft lying down, but it's still the rotational value that's outweighing that. Still the rotational value that's more important. I mean, look at that. So these all draw, so path's easier to control. Strike's very good. And I'm not thinking about arms or hands or anything. I'm able to rotate the body, so my body rotates. It's the centre of rotation, and then my arms also rotate. Then of course the club rotates. There's your three arcs all working together. A lateral movement with the three arcs. The three arcs still move together, but they don't turn. They don't turn as much. They're turning and moving at the same time. So they're turning over here and then they're turning all the way back there. So how do you control low point? Well, turning up to here, and oh there's a ball back there, so I turn back to here. It's so hard to control. Let rotation be the king when it comes to the balance between the two, or the fight between the two. That's as pure as it gets. Look at that. Fantastic. Then of course, we widen the stance, trying to recapture that feeling though. So a slightly narrower stance than I normally would have. I've got 8 iron here. There's my 8 iron Eureka stance there. There's my feet together, so I'm going to go halfway between the two. I'm going to feel from the top of my swing now that to start the downswing, I am going to shift a little bit weight left. So slightly narrower stance than normal. Up. So rotation. Same rotation on the way back. Nice and deep round here. Great. There. Move left. Turn. I'm not going to worry too much about the move left, but it'll naturally happen because I'm fully focused on the rotation. Okay, so the focusing on the rotation is key, but the slightly wider stance means I almost have to move a little bit back towards the golf ball. Oh, hello. Here, rotation. Great again. I line myself up this time. There we go. So everything's got a right to left ball flight from the rotational action. Lateral, the strikes are good, you'll probably hear strike. So low point's controlled. Lateral movement, low point control, tricky. Focusing on the rotational aspect, so the three arcs are working together. Low point control, much easier. In case you're unaware of low point control, your club makes an arc. And there's a low point to that arc somewhere, and we want the golf ball to be just past the low point, so ball, turf, strike. When this rotational action happens, you can see there's a low point. It's hard to visualise that because I am doing both this and this. So there's a low point, but you can imagine that if we just continue with this, that low point is going to be the same every time. Let's just hang that there, same every time. But now it's going to be different if I was to keep it swinging but moving this way and then back this way at the same time. So now where's the golf ball in relation to that? No idea. So what I suggest is just hit lots of balls, feet together, turn, turn, loads of balls, feet together. Every third one, slightly wider stance, feel the same thing. And then back to feet together. And so on to ingrain that rotational action within your golf swing. That's speed. That is speed. And of course with TrackMan, a measure of efficiency is clubhead speed into ball speed. Clubhead speed at 100 miles an hour, ball speed coming off the middle at 150 miles an hour is 1.5. We'll hit the golf club out the middle more often because we're able to control low point, and we now have the speed. Well done you have the speed.